Hi Celeste, my name is Daphne. I'm one of the essay correctors here at IELTSpodcast.com. Thank you for sending in your essay for correction. Really good idea to get some feedback. So this question, some people, just highlight the key bits here, who have been in prison become good citizens later. Not all of them, but some of them. And it's often argued these are the best people to talk to teenagers about the dangers of committing a crime. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So it's a very interesting question, but always in these IELTS questions, we need to have a look at the key words. And these are the key things for me. This is almost like the hidden bits inside the question that you need to focus on. So I'd always also then do some planning, which you probably did. So are they the best people? And then the other side of the question is who else could talk to the teenagers about crime? Would teachers be better, or parents be better, or the police? So we shouldn't address that element as well. So in today's day and age, there has been an upward increase in crime rates, right? There has been, you won't not have. There are constant debates over how ex-offenders is the best option to give to a talk to teenagers on the reasons not to commit a crime, while the others may beg to differ. In this essay, I'll discuss why having someone who has been through the prison before is the best way to dissuade people not to commit a crime. Okay, this is nice, but watch out on your tenses. You've got a lot of errors on your grammar tenses here, your verb tenses. I'll discuss why having someone who has been present perfect here, through the prison before, through the prison, either through prison or the prison regime, we can say, before, is the best way to dissuade teenagers. So that's okay. You need to tell me whether you agree or disagree, because it's an opinion essay. So you want to put your opinion in here before you start that section. So in today's age, there has been, so that's just a grammar, present perfect still, an upward trend. There are constant debates over how ex-offenders are. So again, watch out on your verb accuracy there. And I would use whether, not how. This is more like if. Whether ex-offenders are, or even better, could be. So these modal verbs work really nicely in IELTS. Could be the best option to give a talk to teenagers on the reasons not to commit a crime. While others may beg to differ. I'm not sure about that. There are constant debates. Yeah, I don't think you need that section, actually. If you've put their constant debates over it, that suggests that some people do disagree. But instead, put your opinion in here. Okay, so very important to have a strong introduction with no errors, especially on the grammar, because the examiner will look at your intro and immediately start working out what band score they think you're going to be. So just remember that accuracy on the verbs. So to begin with, so the way you start your paragraphs here, I think you could start those in a stronger way. This is something that we look at on the course that we do, how to work this essay sentence by sentence, how to have a really good, strong introduction, and how to have really strong topic sentences at the beginning of each paragraph. So there are some people who think ex-criminals are not a good option. So you could have instead, it has often been claimed that, and then come into this. So take out that. So this is better because you're using nice present perfect and you're using it in the passive as well. So you're going to get more points on the grammar there. It's often been claimed that ex-criminals are not a good option to give a talk to them. Now, who is them? You need to tell me them, teenagers. So ex-criminals here, even the most reformed. We need to get into this idea of the best. So you're saying it's not a good idea, even the best. So make sure you can connect that back to that keyword in there. Are not a good option. Due to the saying of a leopard will not change its spots. Now, I would really avoid idioms in IELTS. It's not a feature of academic writing. So I would say that another way. So it has not been proven, or it has often been shown, or there have been cases where criminals seem to be reformed, but in fact resort to crime again, or they still are tempted into crime. It will be difficult for people to believe they've changed. Okay, since they had already done a crime once, grammar, so committed a crime once, the possibility of them making the same mistakes again, good. Hence, they should not be the ones to discourage teenagers about crimes and why they should not do it. And a more appropriate option could be parents, teachers, or even the police who have had interactions with many criminals. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so push this a little bit more here. And this is this element of who else could do it? You're saying here the prisons aren't right, aren't appropriate. So who else? So make sure you add that little bit more in there. And then you could have an example. So you should really, for IELTS, have an example in that paragraph, and we show you how to do that on the course. Okay? So rather than on the contrary, I would just use however. These people, so who? You need to tell me who they are, because you've talked about a lot of different people here. So some of these former inmates, people who've been in prison, can share their experience based on the offensive they did. Okay, not only the ex-offenders share how they regretted what they have done, but they could also say the punishments they received. Okay, good. Not only, now you need to have a verb in here. This structure, not only but, is great, well done, but we need to use it correctly. Not only could the ex-offenders, then that goes, share how they have regretted. I would use the present tense there. They regret it now still. How they regret what they have done, present perfect there. But they could also say the punishment they received. Okay, maybe explain the punishment they received. For instance, if they had shoplifted previously, the punishment they would receive. Watch out, there's quite a lot of confusion here on your grammar tenses, okay? You've got the past perfect there, and then you're using a would here. So I can see you're trying to use a conditional, but it's not working in this, it doesn't work in this with what you want to say. If they had shoplifted previously, the punishment they had, you want the past perfect again there, they had received was a fine and prison. Okay. The punishment they'd received was fine and prison. If teenagers, so now you go into your conditional, that's great. So this bit, if teenagers learned there are different types of punishment given in jail, would they even repeat their mistakes? So yes, but don't put it into the question. Questions, we don't like questions in IELTS. Again, it's not academic. So here you put they would be less likely to repeat. Well, I'm not going to use repeat because they haven't done it, but less likely to be tempted to enter a life of crime, as they would understand the consequences more fully. Something like that. Okay, so great to have your conditional here. Well done. But maybe let's take it out of the question. Don't have it in a question. In conclusion, even though people believe they're unable to change, again, who's they? Be careful. Even though some people believe criminals are unlikely to change, on listening to their experience and what they had to just go on. Listening to their experience and what they had to face in jail would put teenagers in place. In a place that would put teenagers in a place that they would be, they would be less, would not do the same thing. Okay, you've done well there. It's a very tricky essay. So you've done IELTS twice before. The biggest thing I'm picking out here, Celeste, is grammar mistakes. You've got a lot of errors in your grammar, and that would really bring you down on the marking. So really check out carefully the issues in the tenses that I've been talking about. The other thing is the coherence, and we can really help you with that. So the coherence is the organisation of this essay. You need to be giving examples. You need to be giving more examples and building more information into these paragraphs. And some issues on the coherence where you're just putting, for example, these people, and I don't know who you mean. So here I put some of these former inmates. So definitely look at getting some help with your preparation. It's a much better idea to get some help, follow a course, get lots of feedback and corrections like this, and then you can really improve. It's very tough doing it on your own, but really happy to help you with that. So well done, and thank you for sending this in.